share stories of LGBT individuals and our allies in order to build true community, one cocktail at a time.
Look at me, I got a cowboy shirt. I'm a cowboy now.
Hello, welcome back to Happy Hour. We're talking to Joshua about what it means to be an ally for the LGBT community. I found it interesting what you were saying before about how it's important to fight for everyone's rights because no one really fits that ideal image of what it means to be a man. It makes so much sense, and I get that, and I had no idea that there were people, honestly, in the straight community that would feel that. So that's awesome. I'm glad you brought that up. Was there ever a time where that was really, really hit you hard? Can you tell us about?
I mean, there's lots of times that I could probably talk for hours, but but there was one time. But one of the funniest ones, I guess. I went with a girlfriend to Montana. Montana, huh?
Montana.
And her mother lived in this trailer park community, and she was dating her boyfriend. They went to AA together, and he came over, and it was Christmas time, so I had just gotten my Christmas present, which was this cowboy shirt, and I always wanted a cowboy shirt. Never really got around to getting one. And I put it on, and I was like, "Look at me! I got a cowboy shirt. I'm a cowboy now." And
he was in Montana,
right? Yeah, and maybe the guy didn't like that joke. I don't know, but he was just like, "Oh, it's better than being a faggot."
Oh my god!
And I was like,
just like out of the blue.
Yeah, I was just like, that was left field. What did somebody say?
What did you say?
What did you say?
I don't know. I feel like I should have said, "Well, I used to be one," or something.
So you didn't really say anything?
I didn't say anything. I just kind of like looked around, like got really because I don't know, in that situation you just kind of recoil a little bit, kind of go back to that being 8 years old and bullied on the playground, pushed off the swing set.
Yeah.
What do you do?
What a horrible thing to say.
It's interesting, that example. I had a couple relatives Facebook me last week when SCOTUS made the decision to legalize gay weddings, and they both Facebooked me privately with messages that were very similar, saying, "I love you, we support you, but I'm not turning my profile picture into the rainbow because for fear of my Christian community." And I emailed them both back, quite frankly, being really honest that I loved them as well. But that didn't feel right to me. It didn't make me feel good. But it really has made me think a lot about why it's important to stand up as an ally versus being in the shadows. So why do you think it's important? Or do you think it's important?
Yeah, I mean, I've never really cared too much about pleasing the Christian community, so...
Nope, not going to find that over here.
I think you'll live your life the way that you want to live it, and value the people that in your life that are important to you. And if you were so important to those family members, they
stand up for me.
It would have been more important than the relationship to that church that outcast you and hurt you. You know, I mean, if you're going to stay friends with a guy who's bullying your other friend, because you don't want to upset that friend, what kind of friend are you?
Which you talked about it in our first segment, Joshua. That often it's just that quiet conversation that you're having with your mom or your sibling. And I believe that it is those quiet conversations that often are making the greatest difference in terms of changing people's minds. So I'm so grateful that those conversations are taking place more and more frequently.
Allies are in a unique position to sort of come to this with some compassion, because some of us have definitely been there in the past where we've said homophobic things or felt homophobic and so we're coming at it from sort of the same angle, and I think really being compassionate towards our friends and family who might not be ready to embrace the LGBT community because of how it might make them feel about themselves, a sort of narcissistic trip, and hold their hand and walk them through it, Whereas I can't really expect you guys to do that with my family.
But we would.
We will try.
We would.
Sure, bring them out. We'll give it our best shot.
I mean, regardless of the issue, right? We all get there together, or not at all.
next question is, why are straight men so quiet on gay issues generally?
I don't know.
Do you think they are? Let's start with that. Do you agree with the premise of that question?
Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment. A lot of guys are probably worried about disappointing their religious backgrounds or something. Or maybe some guys are worried that by standing up for gay rights they'll be perceived as gay or something like that. But assuming that that's all moot because we're also punk rock and ready to tear down the patriarchy.
Yeah, anarchy.
I think there's a difficulty in appearing to have that sort of messiah complex where you're stepping up and like doing this for the little people or something, and all sort of the problematics that come with that.
Do you think that it's gender specific in terms of what you just talked about, that perhaps women have fewer struggles being out and open as an ally?
Right. Well, women are already struggling against the patriarchy, and homophobia is all part of that, right? They're all completely related. Even if Saturn was here, I'd be like, and racism too, right? You'd completely agree with me, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Misogyny.
We all have something.
Yeah.
Or misogyny.
Right?
Yeah.
And all three of us here are allies, right?
Yep,
'Cause
we're allies for
We
each
are
other.
allies, yeah,
Because
for sure.
you're a man and we're all white.
Yeah,
We do
no, that's
have
true.
our places of privilege, and then our places
of
where we have our
opportunity.
struggle.
Yeah.
Places of opportunity, that's a good
Yeah.
way to put it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can be an ally for both of you can be an ally for me. Allies who are still, they want to help, but not really sure how to do it. Do you have a message for what we could term as closeted allies?
Or maybe they're just their comfort level isn't
Comfort
quite
level
there.
isn't
Yeah.
quite there.
Yeah.
Message for them. What would you say?
It all
Wow.
comes back to fighting for ourselves, I think. Because everybody has to sort of find their own sexuality. Everybody has to explore their own identity for themselves. And it's not going to fit into that perfect mold set forth by the patriarchy, right? Myself, even personally, I don't necessarily fit into that mold of the patriarch has given us. My girlfriend and I definitely don't fit into the traditional marriage role. We've been together for 7-8 years. We're unmarried. We live together, and there's not necessarily an intention to rush out and get married just because that's not the type of people we are. She makes a bit more money than I do because I'm a filmmaker. She's a female professional. She's a go-getter. She's aggressive. She
Good
makes
for her. You
and
elect her.
because of that, people project a lot of expectations onto our relationship.
Right.
So we all have to sort of figure out who we are for ourselves. And if we make it open and free for you guys to do that, we're making it open and free for ourselves too. So.
Amen. Amen.
Stand up for each
Yeah.
other.
Great message.
Very good message.
Hooray.
Thank you. So in order to help, I have a couple of resources, starting with PFLAG. Have you heard of PFLAG? You know
I
PFLAG.
love PFLAG, yes.
You interviewed them during the
When I was-
Pride episode.
I did,
Yes.
and when I was in college, I used to go speak at PFLAG.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Oh, that's terrific. So PFLAG stands for Parents, Families, and Friends of Lesbian and Gays. And of course, they support bisexual and transgender too. It's just the acronym. And they have a really good mission statement. Please go onto their website and check them out. They support the community just so much. They do such good work. We also have GLAAD is doing a Got Your Back campaign. You may have seen that on the Pride episode as well. If you haven't caught it, go back and check it out. It's at glad.org/gotyourback, and it's all about being allies for each other, not just straight allies being supporting the gay community, but also for everyone in the gay community to support each other. We love that. That really covers it. So thank you guys. Thank you,
Yeah,
Joshua,
thank you
for
so
coming
much,
in
Joshua.
for a wonderful
Great information.
conversation and information.
To Joshua.
Giving us your perspective from this side of the camera for a change. And thank you guys for coming back to Happy Hour. We really appreciate that. If you like what you're seeing and hearing, please like us on Facebook and subscribe to us on YouTube and follow us on Twitter and check us out on Instagram as well. We really appreciate it. And please come and keep coming back for more.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers, guys.